Spears in Bannerlord work quite differently to how they do in Warband, and there's a few problems that have come from that. So I'm going to hopefully go through most of them here. The first problem is instant damage, and this is where the spear deals damage as soon as the animation begins, giving no time for reaction. And in the clip you can see that I get very close and I can just put my spear right up against the other person, and immediately, as soon as the animation begins, it deals damage and takes them out. I try a few drag hits here. I'm using the Empire long spear in the other one, and I switched to the shorter spear that the Kuze have here. And the short spear is actually even more effective at this. Even when I get right up to him, it consistently deals damage immediately, high amounts of damage, and can't be countered. We compare that to Warband, where if I'm close, if I'm right up to them, it does no damage, and even when I'm, very, very close, it does this sort of glance hit, not full damage. Doesn't do very much damage at all. You can't stab directly into someone and immediately deal damage, and that makes things much more balanced. Here I'm using the javelin, and the problem's actually even worse with javelins in melee because they travel longer in the air, and that seems to do more damage in Bannerlord. See, that final headshot did over 30 damage, the other stab's doing 17 or 18, and against peasants you can literally walk directly up to them with a melee javelin and just shred them incredibly quickly. This instant damage thing is, I just can't agree with it. The next issue is to do with the absence of a stun mechanic, and the first clip I'm going to warband to show what it actually is. So the stun mechanic is where if you have a spear and a shield and you stab against someone, you're briefly stunned, you see the shield goes to the side, and if they react quickly, they can punish it with a hit. But that's the important point, is if they react quickly with a quick weapon. You can see in this clip here, even though the guy has a one-handed weapon, he reacts slowly when I stab his shield. So the stun isn't significant enough to get me hit. I can keep blocking after my stabs. So it's kind of skill based. It basically just means that you can't run straight up to someone and stab them because there's a small stun if you try to do that. Now, in Bannerlord, that doesn't exist, and you see in this clip here, I can run up to this guy, even though he's got a sword. I can get right in his face, I can stab and then block immediately afterwards, and he can't do anything about it. You know, I can just get up, and you see some of these hits, that one there is immediate. As soon as the animation began, I did instant damage, and the problem is, there's no stun, and you deal instant damage, and that's what's making spears really powerful in melee right now. You just run up to them, you keep stabbing, deal instant damage, and you don't get stunned. The final issue is to do with the turn caps, and I went through that in my first combat issues discussion video, so I'm not gonna do that again, but I'm just gonna leave this clip running of showing the issue. Essentially, the turn cap is too strict. If you turn your camera to the side, it pulls you that way. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave this clip in while I talk finally sort of my final thoughts on spears in general. So in Warband they weren't perfect. You could spin quite rapidly and you could deal quite heavy damage by that. People would spin around a lot, and I understand that the goal is to reduce that, to make spears a bit more sensible in their usage. But the thing is, they're such powerful weapons, and the precision that you can hit with them, the pierce damage against armor, and the way that they can be used to support a melee fight if there's people already fighting and you can stab into the side and things, they already have a lot going for them in terms of their strength. And the fact they deal instant damage at the beginning of the animation, they're not meant to be, or at least they shouldn't be, 1v1 weapons. And right now, they're the strongest weapon in 1v1, because you can't be stunned using it like in Warband. You do instant damage. They're better than swords for 1v1. Even javelins are, and things like that just can't stay.